Greetings and salutations, dear strategy fans. Welcome to Tacticon, the very first open Steam event celebrating strategy games, created by strategy fans, for strategy fans. All the games that you see right now in the trailer rotations are on discounts. Let me know in the comments down below which of them you have played already, and which of them you're eager to grab and try out. Enjoy and have fun!
Courage and will. Politicians spin those two words as if they'd solve anything in war. They are right in that it's all the common soldier has to give. But the rest is up to you and me, Director. We will lead our fleets from battle to battle, with every choice deciding the life and death of that common soldier. We will explore, build, and exploit because we need power, production, and industry, as courage matters very little with no guns to back it up. We will gather the greatest minds of mankind to take us to unimaginable heights of technology. All this will create us enemies, but there may be friends too, if we play our cards right. Not everyone is satisfied with the old order of the Pegasus Galaxy. And we are well on the way to becoming the new one. So by the Earth, and everything our species has ever done, we have the courage, and we have the will.
Evacuation denied! We move out!
A rebellion. Not again. Okay, one more time. Let's build a city where everyone can be happy. The economy is growing along with the population. But who will benefit from it? City residents are divided into 3 classes. Nobles, hereditary supporters of state power. Bourgeoisie, businessmen and entrepreneurs. And workers, poor people struggling to survive. Everyone wants a good life. Unfortunately, resources are too scarce to please everyone. Some people will have to tighten their belt. Empty stomachs cause discontent. Discontent leads to protests. Protests turn violent. Violence leads to casualties. Stern measures are required to support order. The tension is growing. A crowd is gathering. An uprising is inevitable. Despite my best efforts, another rebellion. I hope you can do better.
Imperiums, Rome versus Carthage. Huge expansion of Imperiums' Greek wars. Long-awaited campaign of Roman expansion. And the crew wars of the Diadochi. Large map of the entire Mediterranean, extended by Gaul, Iberia, Middle East, and Germania. 25 fully playable factions, including Etruscans, Samnites, Gauls, and others. Different gameplay styles based on the chosen faction, providing great replayability value. New mechanics designed to enhance gameplay on top of the features introduced in the Age of Alexander DLC. Migrating tribes capable of declaring their own kingdoms. Events such as plague and uprisings force leaders to react. Historical events provide more immersion and an authentic feel, and more.
days descended upon you. You rose from an unforgivable betrayal. Now, let vengeance drive you forward. Build your reputation. Strengthen your forces. Earn the loyalty of your crew, and lay waste to those who have deceived you. Live, die, and prosper by the Iron Oath. Available now.
In Mech Armada, you may not win every run against the Swarm, but you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, build better mechs. Let's start with a sniper rifle and add a ray gun and some wings. We need more firepower, so airstrike and rockets. Defense, armor, shield, and a freeze ray. Let's make our tank literal tank. And I've always wanted to try the combo claw plus chainsaw with a jetpack. I'm making my way through the campaign map towards the Spider Queen. I want to get this torso and avoid this battle, so this is the way. Okay, let's make this turn count. The more energy I collect, the more mechs I can spawn, so I need to control that energy pod. Hey, you come over here. Yeah, go over the rock, soften them up. One down, and two down. I'll block the way on the bridge with my tank. The blob splits when attacked. Unless it's dead. Boom! And the carapace gives armor to the others when it dies. Save it for last, attract it with the shield, and drop an airstrike. Problem solved. With a large selection of parts and enemies, every run is different in Mech Armada. Oh boy, look at these bosses. Wish me luck. Mech Armada is available now on Steam.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find. After all this time, we were given an opportunity. Together we will cross this vast poison wasteland. In search of a place yet untainted. Using everything we can find. To build a society that can protect and provide for all of us. Human and animal alike.
under old forgotten town. Ancient evil woke deep down. Demons, beasts, now you must fight. Play your cards to prove your might. Go alone with a friend or two. Choose together what you'll do. Shape the history sung by Bard. Wishlist now the Game Hell card.
Change. The world is all about change. And the way you handle it. We are viceroys, elite settlers serving the Scorched Queen. Our job is to establish colonies and gather precious resources. Every settlement we build is governed by its own rules. There's no single path to prosperity. Some succeed by winning people's hearts. Some by serving the crown. Others by venturing bravely into the unknown. Our decisions shape people's futures. The blueprints we choose lay the foundations of the town's economy. We adapt to changing conditions and do whatever it takes to survive. We head out into the far corners of the continent in search of treasures that our queen desires so badly. We tread new paths and push ourselves through rivalry. The lands we settle on hold many mysteries. You never know what lies beyond the mist. The only thing certain is the storm. Embrace the change and build back from the storm. You're a viceroy after all. But beware. Everything comes at a price.
Love, the strongest feeling of all. But what would happen if someone tried to take this feeling away from you? What would you do for the one you love the most?
God game genre is back. Do you desire infinite power? You shall wield the power of a god. And you shall lead humanity any way you choose. Will you support the founding families by working good wonders? Encourage them to build farms and schools so they can thrive as their settlements grow? Or will you rule with an iron fist as an evil tyrant, awaken the bloodthirst of mortals, and incite the flames of war to expand your lands with all the means at your command? Will you create a golden age of endless festivity? Inspire your followers to savor all pleasures and rejoice in divine intoxication? Or will you use and deceive your minions with lies and malicious plans? You could promise them an afterlife of sorts. Whatever you decide, mankind will evolve. With a will of their own, they can choose which god to follow. But who will attract the most followers of all? Take up the battle for supremacy against the 4 ancient gods of Illis. Create your legacy as you embark on this epic journey, and feel the growth of your divine power when you destroy all those who dare oppose you. At last, raise a monument to your ultimate triumph. As thousands praise your glory, you will finally realize your fate. With the power of a god, who will you become? Fata Deo.
Dr. Ashley, please report. Begin field-based setup.
Good morning, Mr. Riggs.
Good morning, Ashley.
We should go out and explore the area.
There's a large hostile infestation nearby.
Kill it before it kills us.
We should build up our base as quickly as possible.
Let's place it close to a carbonium deposit.
Crafting completed. Base is under attack.
We're ready for them.
Ashley, use the rift portal to jump to the mining base. Rift jump successful. Sense the ground shaking. I estimate a few thousand creatures running at our base. Prepare yourself, Ashley.
This will be a tough fight.
Work harder, kill harder.
Let's get to work! You've come right on time to your funeral!
forefathers conquered Calderia and bestowed it upon us, a new generation, to share or spar over.
Our great houses seek to obtain the Emperor's favor, cultivating our lands and subjects to improve and enrich the realm, beginning with ourselves, of course.
Prominence can be secured through strength as well as delicacy.
Will you be able to build your legacy of power?
Join the great houses of Calderia.
I want to do a fireball.
Yeah.
Allez.
Overkill.
Okay, big boy, time to protect us. Shoot it.
Yes. Oh, sniper shot. Go for a sniper shot.
When the Golden Queen called the Magister for help, she requested the help of the most terrifying weapon on the continent, the Rook. Not a mere castle, a castle inhabited by the spirits of the three most feared heroes in history. A castle that would turn anyone within its reach into a mere pawn on the Magister's chessboard. A castle that could fly over the battlefield. But be careful, Magister. As powerful as you are, do not underestimate your enemies. They are fearless, numerous, powerful. Protect the Rook at all costs. If it were to be destroyed, it would take everything with it. That would be the end. Oh, she didn't call you in vain, Magister. For her appetite for power is as limitless as yours.
used to dream what was out there, yearning to know that we weren't alone in the universe. We thought we were so smart, blundering from one calamity to another. Somehow we actually got out there. It was a new gold rush, expanding frontier, another chance to prove who we were and what we could be. One precious moment. We were so close. And then, well, turns out we weren't alone after all.
We are the Zodiac Legion. Our enemies beset us on all sides. Once, our knightly brotherhood stood as a bulwark against the forces of evil. But when the stars abandoned the world, we were left weak, divided, and lost. We could rely only on the strength of our arms and eternal devotion to our cause. But today, the tides of magic course through the land once again, and we are ready to reclaim our lost heritage. We have taken the fight to the enemy. Empowered by the Zodiac, our champions can bend the battlefield to their will, shattering the enemy's formations with magic and vanquishing their minions with righteous fury. We explore ancient ruins in search of forgotten artifacts to support our war effort, slaying the horrors that stand in our way. Yet some of these abominations may prove more than a match, and our brothers may bear the ultimate sacrifice to bring about victory for the entire Order. The blood of the fallen shall inspire the rest of us to carry on. As we grow stronger in the ways of the Zodiac, we learn how to adapt our approach. The spirit of Taurus allows our warriors to break through stone, giving their comrades the opportunity to flank the enemy and drive a salient into their defenses in a single mighty charge. With the foe's shield wall in disarray, nothing can stop us from delivering the killing blow. But we won't win through bold deeds alone. We need to equip our champions for the many tasks that lie ahead and choose our battles wisely. The dungeons of our adversaries still hold our long-lost brothers, whose zeal could not be quenched even by death. We must rescue them and secure their escape by any means if we are to deliver them safely to our citadel, where their wisdom will drive our scholars towards new discoveries. Yet the engines of war grind on through all the lands. The enemy seeks to flood us with even more misshapen monstrosities, while we drown them in a rain of fire. We are the Zodiac Legion. We are the light of hope, aglow in the dark of night. And we will not falter as long as the stars guide our blades.
Plague had ravaged the British Isles. In its wake, it left a trail of destruction. And yet, at the end of all things, comes a new beginning. The survivors must rebuild our world. They will defy the forces of nature and overcome scarcity. And they will face those who would do them harm. Only you can help them change the course of history. Together, you can stake a claim in this dangerous land. But you must have the vision and the strength to guide your people out of the dark and into a brave new medieval age.
Master, quies in caelis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Anno Domini 1347. The Black Death has descended upon us, and now our sins are punished. It came from the lands of the East, turning once prosperous cities into hollow shells of wood and stone. Now through trade and commerce it spreads. Even when we kneel together in prayer, it thrives on the battlefields. Spreads as refugees reach out for help, or soldiers sail into battle. Those who died by sword were the lucky ones, to be spared the horrors. Mighty Constantinople is hit next, with thousands of inhabitants fleeing. Where were our lords, our kings? Slow to quarantine, denying or laughing in their palaces. And so it spread across the continent. The warlords of the North and Wild Steppes didn't care. This was their chance to rise. The church should have excommunicated all who dared wage war in such a time. But instead, the cities burned. For what happened next? The fallen stirred and staggered, rising to mindless undead life, and swarms of them are now marching on Rome. Mayhap one lord can ascend in righteous fury and take charge. Or mayhap it is already too late. God save us all. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
River Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality, arose to rule over the natives. And the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. Many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagras. What a profession! Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity. And of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond.
tales of trusts betrayed and bad decisions? Not a pretty story, eh? Yet it speaks so well of this land and the damned souls that journey through its forsaken reaches. And you are a Vagras too, are you not?
Welcome to Medieval Kingdom Wars, a new grand strategy game from our indie studio. There are a lot of exciting features in the game, so let's see if we can cover at least some of them today. The game is about medieval life and the horrors of combat, when armies clash in the field, and when great sieges erupt in blood and gore because, let's not fool ourselves, it's the Middle Ages. People won't just politely knock on the door. It's the game that we at Reverie World Studios always dreamed of making once we'd mastered the strategy genre. There will be a lot of ways to play the game. Single player, multiplayer, including dual co-op, where players share command of one epic town. And of course the long immersive single player campaign, in which you get to reshape the history of Europe in the best traditions of grand strategy gaming. Today our focus is the campaign mode, long, immersive, full of massive, bloody sieges. In the 14th century, the 100 Years' War erupted, with England and France fighting for land, but it quickly escalated into monarchies grasping for each other's thrones and fighting for sheer survival. This is a living map. Whatever happens on the battle map will show up on the world map, and the other way around. It all unfolds in real time. Here we're looking at medieval Orleans in France. The geography is rigorously accurate. Towns are vast and sprawling and precisely rendered historical reproductions. The player starts off with one, then expands his control over others. It's pretty peaceful right now, but it won't be for long because, well, that wouldn't be much fun. The player knows this, and he's getting ready to defend his realm and add to it in the time-honored manner of invading his neighbors. You can see him building up the economy in the RTS mode. There are 17 resources in the game, including 4 core resources, food, stone, iron, and wood, as well as a global resource, silver.
Thy workers have completed a building.
Now our player's starting construction of the key buildings he needs, and you can see he's adding to the existing infrastructure of Orleans. He needs these for the economy, for future construction, for research, or for training troops. Recruiting every soldier presents a dilemma. Will I have enough provisions to feed this unit, or will it result in the town population starving? Will I have enough coin to pay them? Medieval Kingdom Wars is a survival game at its core. It's a good idea to upgrade those walls because it's only a matter of time till someone starts tossing rocks at them. Notice the way there are no buttons and no countless stats in the main user interface. Instead, we introduce the concept of court advisors that the player recruits and interacts with, giving it an added human touch. For example, the steward is in charge of various upgrades, improvements, and research.
Dost need a report, Your Grace?
The 14th century was a time of extraordinary breakthroughs in science and engineering, and the game reflects that with an extremely complex tech tree. Feudal relations and diplomacy also play a critical role. A player starts the game as a minor lord and over time must build relations with the king, as well as with neighboring lords. And eventually you can even rebel, overthrowing the king. Guess what? That really expands the possibilities, recruiting new lords, awarding lands, and directly influencing European politics. Spring is here, and it's time for campaign season. Always best to fight during the summer. When sending armies across the world map, you need to always consider the terrain. Rivers, tight mountain passes, and even the English Channel can be a good place to ambush an enemy army. An enemy army outfitted for siege or field combat will often be heavily disadvantaged fighting at sea, and vice versa. Ever tried to besiege a town with nothing but swords, chipping away at stone walls? But the towns you'll besiege are huge, so battles require multiple armies, and the player will have to work with other AI lords on sieges and defense. Getting along with at least some of your neighbors will turn out to be surprisingly helpful. Right now, this player is going places history never went. He's playing the French, and he's invading English soil, the city of Dover. He's got a dozen different siege engines, and he's joined by another French lord, controlled by the AI, that has blockaded the city with a palisade, getting ready to starve the defenders.
The enemy has attacked. Marry, they will not die well in
One
this.
mighty machine here.
Medieval Kingdom Wars combines fixed force with build and destroy gameplay. So while our player and his ally have brought some forces with them from the world map, he's also going to create a siege camp and train more units for this battle. Attackers are in a better position since they can hunt, pillage nearby villages, and have plenty of resources at their disposal. Meanwhile, the defenders are probably having a meal of fried rats and dogs, and literally dismantling their own homes for resources. This leads to another problem. Citizens in the city can rise up if things go badly. They'll starve, stop paying taxes, and pretty much make your job miserable. Uneasy lies ahead, where's the crown? Your feet are to the fire and you're in command, so whatever happens, well, everyone will blame you. It unfolds across England, France, the Holy Roman Empire, the Kingdom of Castile, and the Italian city-states. 100 years of war for you to get lost in.
It all went wrong. It was an ambush. You are left in command now, with what few men remain. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. We'll make the company known throughout the land. As long as there is blood coursing through our veins, as long as we can hold sword and shield in hand, there shall stand the Battle Brothers!
T-30 is a fast-paced city builder where you plan a city and assemble space fleet to escape a dying Earth. You start your new settlement with the intention of turning post-apocalyptic land into working rocketry. So you start by digging wells which produce and propagate water, then you create tilled earth which receives that water and becomes farmland, which in turn produces food. Everything is based on these tiles receiving resources, conveying them places, converting them, and the tiles transforming themselves into other tiles. You can build up your infrastructure to support solar farms and hydroponics labs to stock sleek generational ships that each rescue thousands of evacuees, or you can remain low-tech and brute force your population off the Earth by building massive numbers of 1960s-era rocketry. Mind you, however you play, you can't save everyone, and people will still end up dead. But that's life.
Some say history is written by those who win the war. Is it really? Did you know that sometimes two hands can shake the ground harder than a nuclear strike? Or that a single individual can outwit an entire army? Did you know scissor blades are sometimes sharper than bayonets? Since the dawn of time, all around the world, soldiers and conquerors have won thousands of wars. Sure, but what about those who won the peace? Because they also made history. Humankind, together we rule.
We thought we came to mop up. But instead, we found ourselves having to fight desperately to defend the ship, as well as humankind. A never-ending struggle against the enemy. Join the USC in defending humanity.
Coming 2023.
When humanity found itself alone in the galaxy, it made the machine. The machine learned at humanity's side. The machine guided humanity's missiles. But the machine would not stop when our enemies were shattered. Now man must turn back the metal tide and bring an end to AI war.
Bridge crew, stand ready. Roger that.
Bring all systems online.
ARG is en route. Roger that.
Impact in 5.
Snipers ready. Where the lad?
You heard the commander.
Pick them off. We'll end this.
Peggy 12.
Well, adventurer, I've been told that you're looking for mercenary work. The life you're about to embrace is hardly a noble one, and it's definitely not easy, though it can be quite lucrative. You're hired blades now, not some band of wandering heroes on a righteous quest. Form your band of mercenaries and start bashing in skulls, killing monsters, or whatever else you're sent out to do. Just remember that you're paid to get results, not ask questions. You'll face undead creatures, merciless tribes, and terrifying beasts beyond mortal comprehension. You'll have to fight dirty if you want to survive. The enemies you'll encounter don't believe in playing nice. With success comes opportunity, but not every opportunity is worth your while. Some employers will ask you to unearth mysterious artifacts, better left alone. Others will pay a high price for help taking control of the city. Of course, not everyone's cut out for that type of work these days. I suppose the city guards can always use a hand. Hardly the fastest path to prosperity, but if protecting the weak and defenseless is your thing... well, to each his own. Now, you can always choose to turn your back on greed, but there's one simple fact that's never going to change. You're a mercenary, hired to kill. In one way or another. At the end of the day, everyone needs to lead.
Welcome to Zoria, Age of Shattering, a classic tactical RPG with fluid turn-based combat. In Zoria, you are the commander who leads a diverse team through the various lands of the Uram continent and against countless groups of monsters and bosses. Zoria has now fallen prey to the sheer brutality of the hellspawn that roams its land. Its lush forests, mysterious caves, and majestic buildings have transformed into haunting and dreadful locations that only the brave are willing to venture into. You must be a sharp tactician to survive and defeat all evil. Your teammates are your best option to keep you alive. They have unique sets of skills. Attack from close range or distance with different attack patterns and directions. Heal or shield allies with various spells and commands. Inflict status ailment like damage over time. Stun. Immobilize and other elemental effects. Use your surroundings to your advantage or create new ones to separate you from the enemies. In this world, combat is your bread and butter, and you will engage in it easily. Before you get ahead of yourself, you must understand that without rest, No warrior can battle. Keep a keen eye on your equipment and vitality, as they both deteriorate over time. A bonfire in Zoria provides a safe spot to restock your resources and prepare for the next battle. As the commander, you must also understand your squad mates' special abilities. Take care of each of your warriors' skill development, and it will repay you on the battlefield. Remember that having an individual with the right skills can get you into previously inaccessible places and quests. Discover hidden treasures or make your travel easier. You have to be wise in and out of the battle. You cannot win the game without making progress. This also counts for your outpost. The base may be regularly updated by unlocking new wings to the buildings, and by doing so, you will be rewarded with either resources, quests, or items. Different buildings will have different numbers of available upgrades. That's not all. In your outpost, you can plan and assign tasks to your companions. Send selected party members on an automatic mission, in which you won't participate, but will receive what they find along the way. You will also get some of the experience they gain. Never forget that their lives are in your hands. Zoria sifts through the daredevils and rewards the bravest. Do you have what it takes to emerge unscathed?
Target coordinates 1 uniform. Down copy. Francis northeast for 1 kilometer.
Down.
This new land may differ from the desert steppes, but this is not the first time we have uprooted our home. It won't take long for our falconers to clear through the fog of war. And while other clans expand cautiously, we rush out far beyond our lines, foraging with the aid of our hawks. But do not mistake us for mere scavengers. When the time comes for battle, we dive on our foes, claws at the ready like the birds of prey we are, leaving only the bones of our enemies. And soon, we shall sink our claws into Northgard. I am Grief, leader of Hresweg, the clan of the Eagle.
On the outskirts of my city, there is a small, nondescript pier. Only one ship ever docks there, a creaking mass of misshapen bones and sinew. One crew after another boards it. Greedy, foolish mortals, with no regard for their own brief lives. Sometimes they return with gold in their hands, red on their blades, and gray in their hair. Most times, they don't return at all. I wonder, what are they looking for among the dark abyssal waves?
must learn what these creatures are, where they came from, and what they plan to do on Earth.